Hi, everyone. Welcome to Learn English Through Podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jack. Today, we're going to talk about something everyone loves, vacations.
That's right, Jack. Talking about vacations is a really fun way to practice English. You can use it in daily conversations, with friends, or even when you meet someone new.
Absolutely. And the best part? We'll show you real-life examples of how people talk about vacations.
So, let's get started. First, we can talk about where you went on vacation.
A simple way to start is by saying, I went to. For example, I went to Paris last summer.
Or you could say, I visited, like I visited the mountains in Colorado.
And if you want to sound more natural, you can add a little detail about what you did there.
Exactly. For example, I went to Paris last summer. I visited the Eiffel Tower and tried some delicious pastries.
That already makes the conversation more interesting. People love details.
Now, if you want to ask someone about their vacation, you can use phrases like, where did you go on your vacation? Or, did you have a good trip?
And don't forget, you can also ask about what they did, like what activities did you enjoy the most?
That's a really useful question. It keeps the conversation flowing.
Here's a tip, Emma. Sometimes people talk about their feelings during vacation.
Oh, yes. You can say, I had an amazing time, or it was really relaxing.
And if something didn't go well, you could also say, it was a bit tiring, but I still enjoyed it.
Talking about vacations isn't just about the place, it's also about your experience.
Absolutely. You can also describe the weather, like the weather was perfect for swimming, or it rained a lot, but we still had fun.
And if you went somewhere far, you could talk about traveling to get there.
Right. You might say, we flew for 8 hours to reach Bali, or we drove along the coast and stopped at small towns on the way.
That's a nice way to add more details to your story.
Now, Emma, let's show our listeners a short example conversation.
Good idea.
Hey, Emma, did you go anywhere this summer?
Hi, Jack. Yes, I went to Italy. It was incredible.
Wow, Italy is amazing. Which cities did you visit?
I visited Rome and Venice. In Rome, I saw the Colosseum and the Vatican. And in Venice, I enjoyed the canals and the gondola rides.
That sounds wonderful. Did you try any local food?
Oh, yes. I ate a lot of pasta, pizza, and gelato. The gelato was my favorite.
I can imagine. Italy has the best gelato. Did you take many photos?
Tons. I even made a little photo album when I got home. Jack, I heard you went on a hiking trip recently. How was it?
It was amazing. I went to the Rocky Mountains. The trails were challenging, but the views were absolutely breathtaking.
That sounds incredible. Did you go alone or with friends?
I went with 2 friends. We camped overnight and even saw some wildlife, like deer and eagles.
Wow, seeing wildlife must have been exciting. Did you try any new activities while hiking?
Yes, we tried rock climbing for the first time. At first, it was scary, but it turned out to be really fun.
That's the best part of vacations, trying new things. Sometimes stepping out of your comfort zone makes the experience unforgettable.
Exactly. And talking about new experiences is a great way to practice English. You can describe what you learned or what surprised you.
For example, you could say, I learned how to climb safely and use the ropes properly. Or, I was surprised by how beautiful the mountains looked at sunrise.
And don't forget to share small moments, too. Even simple things like, we made s'mores by the campfire and shared stories all night, make the conversation more engaging.
That's true. Listeners, when you share details like this, it makes your English sound natural and lively.
Another fun topic is discussing your favorite part of a vacation. People love to share what they enjoyed the most.
You could say, my favorite part was visiting the local markets and trying traditional food.
Or, I loved relaxing on the beach and watching the sunset every evening.
Sharing your favorite part also gives you a chance to use descriptive adjectives. Words like beautiful, peaceful, exciting, unforgettable, or breathtaking make your English richer.
Yes, instead of just saying, it was fun, you could say, it was an unforgettable experience because the scenery was breathtaking.
That's a great tip. And you can also ask others about their favorite parts. What was the highlight of your trip?
That keeps the conversation flowing and shows that you are interested in the other person's experience.
Vacations aren't always perfect. Sometimes things go wrong. Talking about these situations is also useful in English.
Absolutely. For instance, you could say, Our flight was delayed, but we made the best of it.
Or, it rained the first 2 days, so we spent time in museums instead of hiking.
You can also mention small inconveniences, like the hotel room was smaller than expected, but it was clean and comfortable.
Sharing these details not only makes your story more realistic, but it also gives you practice using past tense verbs and descriptive phrases.
And if you want, you can even add a funny moment. For example, I got lost in the city, but it led me to a charming little cafe I wouldn't have found otherwise.
That's perfect for showing personality in your English.
So, Emma, did anything unexpected happen during your trip to Italy?
Oh, yes. On the first day, I got lost in Venice. It was a bit stressful at first.
How did you manage?
I asked a local for directions, and they were very helpful. It turned into a fun adventure because I discovered a tiny bakery that had the best pastries.
That sounds like a positive outcome from a small challenge. Sharing moments like this makes your English stories more interesting.
Definitely. It's also a great way to practice problem-solving vocabulary, like lost, delayed, missed, or unexpected.
And listeners, you can use these words when talking about your own experiences. It makes your conversation sound more natural and engaging.
Jack, many people like to give tips about their vacation destinations. This is another great way to practice English.
Absolutely. You can start by saying, if you visit place, I recommend. For example, if you visit Rome, I recommend going to the Colosseum early in the morning to avoid crowds.
Or, if you travel to Japan, I recommend trying local street food. It's delicious and very affordable.
You can also give safety advice, like, if you go hiking in the mountains, make sure to bring enough water and wear comfortable shoes.
Giving recommendations is helpful for conversation because it allows you to use modal verbs like should, must, and can.
Yes, for example, you should visit the art museum. It's incredible.
And it's also fun to share small secrets or hidden gems. For example, there's a small cafe near the beach that makes amazing coffee.
Sharing these kinds of tips not only improves your English, but also makes your story more engaging for listeners.
Another interesting topic is vacation budgets. You can talk about how much you spent or saved.
Right. You could say, we spent about $1,500 on our 2-week trip, including flights, hotels, and food.
Or, we found a very affordable guest house which helped us save money for activities.
Talking about money is practical because it allows you to use numbers and comparisons. For example, this hotel was cheaper than the one we stayed in last year.
And you can also describe value, like, even though it was expensive, the experience was totally worth it.
That's a good point. Using expressions like worth it, affordable, expensive, or budget-friendly makes your English more descriptive.
Jack, one of the best parts of vacations is learning about local culture. You can describe traditions, food, or festivals.
Absolutely. For example, during my trip to Spain, I watched a traditional flamenco dance performance. It was colorful and lively.
Or, in Thailand, I tried a cooking class and learned how to make traditional dishes like pad thai.
You can also talk about how the culture made you feel. For instance, the locals were very friendly and welcoming.
And describing culture helps you use adjectives and phrases like unique, traditional, fascinating, or vibrant.
Plus, it makes your conversation interesting for someone who might want to visit the same place.
Jack, do you have any tips for someone visiting the Rocky Mountains?
Definitely. I'd recommend starting early in the morning for the best hiking trails. Also, bring a camera because the views are incredible.
Great advice. And for Italy, I'd suggest trying local markets in small towns. You can find amazing food and souvenirs.
That's a good tip. And if you go to Venice, take a gondola ride, but also walk around the streets. It's less crowded and very charming.
Sharing small tips like this makes your English conversations practical and engaging.
And listeners, you can use these examples to practice your own recommendations. Try telling your friends where to go and what to do in simple, clear English.
Exactly. It's a great way to improve fluency and confidence. Jack, many people like to bring souvenirs home from their trips. This is another topic that makes conversation interesting.
Absolutely. You can say, I bought some souvenirs for my family, like postcards and handmade crafts.
Or, I picked up a few local spices to try cooking traditional dishes at home.
Sharing what you bought also allows you to use descriptive words. For example, the souvenirs were unique and colorful.
And asking about souvenirs is a good conversation starter too. You could ask, did you bring anything back from your trip?
That's right. It helps continue the conversation naturally.
Another way to make your English more advanced is by comparing trips. For example, Last year I went to France, but this year I visited Spain. I liked the food in Spain more.
Or, the beaches in Thailand were more relaxing than the ones in Bali.
Comparing trips gives you practice with words like better, worse, more interesting, or less crowded.
You can also share why one place was better. For instance, the hotel in Thailand had a bigger pool and closer access to the beach.
And asking questions like, which country did you enjoy more, keeps the conversation interactive.
Another engaging topic is favorite memories from vacations. You could say, my favorite memory was watching the sunrise over the mountains.
Or, I will always remember the night we danced at the local festival.
Talking about memories allows you to use past tense in a natural way and add emotional expressions like amazing, unforgettable, exciting, or heartwarming.
Sharing memories also makes your conversation personal and more meaningful.
And listeners, you can practice by thinking about your favorite vacation moments and describing them in detail.
Jack, and many people like to discuss who they traveled with. This is a simple but useful topic.
Absolutely. You could say, I traveled with my family and we had a great time together.
Or, I went with my friends and we tried many adventure activities.
You can also describe the experience with people. For instance, it was fun traveling with my cousins because we shared stories and laughed a lot.
And asking about others is simple too. Who did you travel with? Or, did you enjoy traveling with them?
Talking about companions helps you practice personal pronouns and descriptive phrases. Emma, what's your favorite memory from your trip to Italy?
I think it was walking through the narrow streets of Venice at night. The lights reflected on the water. It was magical.
That sounds beautiful. Did you go with friends or family?
I went with my sister. We had so much fun exploring the city and trying new foods.
Sounds like an amazing trip. I think my favorite memory from the Rockies was watching the sunrise from the top of a trail. The sky turned orange and pink. It was breathtaking.
Wow, Jack, that must have been unforgettable. Did you go alone or with friends?
I went with friends. We shared the moment together, and it made it even more special.
Moments like these are perfect to practice English because you can describe feelings, scenery, and experiences all at once. Jack, talking about future vacations is another interesting topic. You can practice phrases for planning and imagining trips.
Absolutely. You could say, next summer, I want to visit Japan to see the cherry blossoms.
Or, I'm planning a trip to Greece. I'd love to explore the islands and learn about their history.
Using phrases like, I want to, I plan to, I hope to, or I'd love to helps express intentions and dreams.
You can also describe what you imagine doing there. For example, I hope to try surfing and taste authentic local dishes.
Asking questions about future trips is simple too. Where do you want to go next? Or what activities would you like to try?
Some people enjoy discussing their dream destinations, even if they haven't been there yet.
Right. You can say, I've always dreamed of visiting Iceland to see the northern lights.
Or, my dream destination is Australia. I want to see the Great Barrier Reef and the wildlife.
Sharing dreams allows you to use imaginative language and descriptive words like majestic, breathtaking, fascinating, or unforgettable.
And asking someone about their dream destination encourages storytelling. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go?
This type of conversation gives you a chance to practice conditional sentences too, like, if I go to Iceland, I will take a lot of photos.
Jack, another way to make your conversation engaging is to talk about cultural experiences you want to try.
Absolutely. You could say, I want to attend a traditional tea ceremony in Japan.
Or, I'd love to watch a flamingo show in Spain and maybe even try dancing.
You can also describe how you think it will feel. I think it will be exciting and unforgettable.
Asking others about culture is easy too. What cultural activities would you like to experience?
This helps you use adjectives to describe emotions and experiences, making your English more vivid.
Jack, if you could go anywhere next year, where would you go?
I think I'd go to New Zealand. I've always wanted to explore the mountains and try adventure sports like bungee jumping.
That sounds exciting. I'd love to go to Iceland to see the northern lights and visit the glaciers.
That's a beautiful dream. What activities would you like to do there?
I hope to go on a glacier hike and maybe take a boat tour to see the icebergs. It must be amazing.
Definitely. If I go to New Zealand, I will go hiking every day and take a lot of photos.
Talking about future trips really motivates me to plan more adventures. And it's a great way to practice English because you can use different tenses, like future simple and conditional sentences.
Exactly. It also helps you express excitement and anticipation, which makes the conversation more engaging.
And listeners, you can try this with a friend. Ask about dream destinations, activities, and what you hope to experience. It's both fun and educational. Jack, some of the most memorable vacation stories come from unexpected moments.
Absolutely. You can say, we missed our bus, but it led us to a local cafe that became our favorite spot.
Or, the hotel didn't have hot water at first, but the staff were so helpful and friendly.
Sharing challenges makes your English more realistic and gives you practice with problem-solving phrases like unexpected, difficult, luckily, or fortunately.
And adding a positive ending, like despite the rain, we had an amazing day hiking, shows resilience and keeps the story engaging.
One of the best topics is food. People love sharing what they ate.
Yes, you could say, I tried traditional sushi in Tokyo and it was so fresh and delicious.
Or, I ate fresh seafood at a small market in Spain. The flavors were incredible.
Describing food helps you use sensory words like spicy, sweet, tangy, crispy, or creamy.
Asking about someone's food experiences also keeps conversations flowing. What's the most delicious dish you tried on your trip?
Comparing past trips with future plans is another way to expand English practice.
For example, last year I went to France, but next year I want to visit Switzerland. I think the mountains will be amazing.
Or, I enjoyed the beaches in Thailand, but next time I want to explore the cultural cities in Japan.
Using comparisons allows you to practice words like more than, less than, better, or more interesting.
It also encourages you to think about preferences and explain why, which makes conversations deeper.
Example Conversation 8, wrapping up all topics.
Emma, if you summarize your favorite vacation experience, what would it be? I'd say it was exploring Venice with my sister. Walking along the canals, trying local food, and taking photos made it unforgettable.
That's amazing. Did you face any challenges there?
Yes, we got lost a few times, but it turned into a fun adventure. We discovered small cafes and little shops we wouldn't have found otherwise.
Perfect example. For me, hiking in the Rockies was unforgettable. The sunrise, the wildlife, and even unexpected rain made it memorable.
And thinking about the future, what's your dream destination now?
I'd love to visit New Zealand and try adventure sports. How about you?
Iceland is on my list. I hope to see the northern lights and explore glaciers.
So, sharing past experiences, reflections, food, culture, and future plans gives you endless English practice.
Exactly. And listeners, you can use these tips to have full conversations in English about vacations. Practice describing places, activities, memories, and dreams.
Remember, the more details you share, the more natural your English becomes.
And don't forget to ask questions. It keeps conversations alive and interactive.
That's right. Sharing stories, giving tips, and reflecting on trips makes your English not only correct, but engaging.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode about talking about vacations.
Make sure to practice with a friend or even record yourself talking about your last trip. It really helps.
And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Learn English Through Podcast for more English conversation practice.
See you next time with another fun topic.
Bye.
Goodbye.